Once upon a time, in a small, picturesque city nestled between rolling hills and a winding river, lived the Daniel family. The family comprised 4 members, Mr. and Mrs. Daniels and their 2 daughters, Clara and Emily. Clara, the elder of the 2, had always been the apple of her parents' eye, charming and beautiful with a wild streak that often got her into trouble. Emily, the younger sister, was studious and responsible, often overshadowed by Clara's vivacious personality. As children, Clara and Emily were inseparable. They would play in the meadows, share secrets, and dream about their futures. However, as they grew older, their paths began to diverge. Clara, driven by a need for excitement and rebellion, often found herself in precarious situations, while Emily focused on her studies, aiming for a stable and successful future. Clara's life took a dramatic turn when, at the age of 20, she discovered she was pregnant. The news sent shockwaves through the Daniels household. The father of the baby, a fleeting romance, vanished as quickly as he had appeared, leaving Clara to face the consequences alone. The scandal rocked their small community, and Clara's reputation took a hit. Mr. and Mrs. Daniels were heartbroken but supported Clara as best as they could. Despite the turmoil, Clara gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, whom she named Lily. Meanwhile, Emily continued her education, determined to make something of herself. She graduated with honors in high school and went on to attend a prestigious university, earning a degree in business administration. Upon graduation, she secured a lucrative job in a well-known company in the city. Her parents were immensely proud of her achievements and often sang her praises. Emily's life seemed to be on a perfect trajectory. She met Alex, a kind and ambitious man, and their relationship blossomed into a deep and loving bond. When Alex proposed, Emily eagerly accepted, and they began planning their future together. The wedding date was set, and the entire Daniels family looked forward to the joyous occasion. Clara, on the other hand, struggled with her circumstances. She loved Lily dearly, but the challenges of being a single mother weighed heavily on her. Watching Emily's life unfold so seamlessly filled Clara with a complex mix of pride, envy, and resentment. She couldn't help but feel bitter about her own missteps and the stark contrast between her life and Emily's. As Emily's wedding day approached, Clara's emotions became increasingly volatile. The jealousy she harbored grew into a dark cloud that shadowed her thoughts. The idea that her younger sister was getting married before her was unbearable. The happiness that surrounded Emily's upcoming nuptials only intensified Clara's feelings of inadequacy and bitterness. One fateful evening, Clara visited Emily at her new apartment. It was meant to be a sisterly visit, a chance to catch up and share in the excitement of the upcoming wedding. However, Clara's mind was consumed by a sinister plan she had been brewing for days. Driven by a toxic combination of jealousy and despair, she had brought a small vial of poison with her, hidden in her purse. Emily greeted Clara with her usual warmth, completely unaware of the malice in her sister's heart. They chatted and laughed as they prepared dinner together. Clara, feigning a moment of distraction, slipped the poison into Emily's food. The guilt and fear gnawed at Clara, but she steeled herself, convincing her troubled mind that this was the only way to reclaim her own sense of worth. As the evening progressed, Emily began to feel unwell. She dismissed it as pre-wedding nerves and exhaustion. Clara, masking her anxiety, stayed by Emily's side, pretending to be concerned. When Emily's condition worsened, Clara stood by the side watching as Emily groans in pain. Eventually Emily died. Soon after, Clara left. Alex came to check on his fiancée the following morning only to find Emily's dead body. He was devastated. He immediately called the police to report the incident. They started their investigation. When Emily's family heard about her tragic death of Emily, they were devastated. The news of Emily's death spread quickly, casting a dark pall over what should have been a time of celebration. Clara's grief was genuine, but it was tainted by the knowledge of her own culpability. However, the truth has a way of surfacing, and it wasn't long before the police investigation pointed to foul play. The forensic analysis revealed traces of poison in Emily's system, and suspicion fell on those closest to her. Clara's facade crumbled under the weight of her guilt. She was arrested and taken in for questioning. The once lively and carefree young woman now found herself in the cold, harsh reality of a prison cell. During the interrogation, Clara's resolve finally broke. She confessed to her heinous act, tears streaming down her face as she explained her twisted motives. "I couldn't stand it," she sobbed. "Why should she get to be happy and married while I'm stuck with the consequences of my mistakes? It wasn't fair. I couldn't let her have that happiness before me." The courtroom was packed on the day of Clara's trial. The townspeople, who had watched the Daniel sisters grow up, were stunned by the tragic turn of events. Clara's confession was irrefutable, and she was found guilty of murder. The judge, taking into account her remorse but unable to overlook the gravity of her crime, sentenced her to life in prison. The Daniels family was shattered. Mr. and Mrs. Daniel, already devastated by Emily's death, now faced the additional agony of losing Clara to her own actions. The once tight-knit family was torn apart by grief and shame. Years passed, and the small city slowly moved on from the tragic events. Alex, heartbroken by the loss of his fiancée, eventually found solace in the memories they had shared and the love that Emily had brought into his life. He vowed to honor her memory by living a life that would have made her proud. Clara, behind bars, had ample time to reflect on her actions. The weight of her guilt never lifted, and she spent her days in quiet contemplation, trying to come to terms with the irreversible consequences of her jealousy and rage. She found some solace in counseling and religious services offered in the prison, but the haunting memories of what she had done never fully left her. In the end, the story of the Daniel sisters became a cautionary tale in their small city. It was a stark reminder of how envy and bitterness, if left unchecked, could lead to devastating consequences. The community, forever marked by the tragedy, held onto the hope that others would learn from the Daniels family's heartbreak and choose love and forgiveness over jealousy and resentment.
Thank you for watching. Please stay tuned for my next video. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Thank you.